Today. Hey guys, here we are, the Quiggin Out MMA Podcast, and as you can see, it's light outside, which means it's a good day, and I'm here with the one and only Jefferson Stansberry. So, Eddie Wineland, the one, the only mustache aficionado himself. First and foremost, let's give the people a history lesson. Jefferson Stansberry, who are we talking about?
No real history lesson there. It's just kind of a running joke that my strength coach and I have, Jason Gussick at Applied Strength and Conditioning. He's just so quick with things that you'll ask him, well, who was that, or who are you talking about, or whatever. And that's what that was one of his go-tos right off the bat, was Jefferson Stansberry. And he'll just start naming random names. Oh, well, I was talking about Montel Quick or Donnie, whatever. He I can't even think of some of the stuff that he says, but that's one of his go-tos is Jefferson Stansberry. So what better way than to put it up there for everybody to see?
Well, and I think that's great, and I think Tom really started that. Tom Schaaf started that whole thing of being the 21st century John L. Sullivan, I believe.
Sure.
And then I was like, well, I feel like I should know who that is. And I looked it up, and I was like, I know who it was. I just didn't know the name. So, coming right off the bat, we already talked about it a little bit before. It looks like that crow's feet is healing up nicely there. So, oh, my God.
See it? Kind of. A little bit of makeup on there.
Did you really?
No. That's a custom color, ladies. I'm sorry, you can't get that eyeshadow.
Well, and I'm just glad to see you in good spirits. How many stitches? Because
because of the way it was cut, I mean, it was back, and then it was this way, and then it was that way, and then it was this way. And he did 4 singles to each one of those points to tighten those points up,
mm-hmm.
and then 1 long runner from end to end.
Wow.
So
that's.
I guess it would be 5, but one of them is like really long. So 4 shorts and a long, however you want to call it. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV.
You like to party, as
right.
we've seen.
I like to party. That's exactly.
No one got to see that lovely bit. So.
Hold on, they can see it. Check it.
Oh gosh, censor.
Short shorts, man. If they're touching the knees, something's wrong. If they're not above the knees, or I say above the knees, I'll go even as far as to say above mid thigh. Something's wrong.
Shorts you will never catch me wearing. So.
Don't say never. Never's a long time, buddy.
Listen, you send me some.
Try a pair on. You might change your mind.
Listen, if there's Mustache Mafia mid thigh shorts, you'll corner the market immediately.
There we go.
So I want to talk about, obviously we talked about the results of what happened this last weekend. And I've got to say, I've been watching you fight for a very long time. And you're in really good spirits. So I kind of want you to, talk a little bit about this weekend. Obviously it didn't go your way. I'm not going to ask you what went wrong or any of that stuff or what would you change and be like, well, I wouldn't lose.
Yeah, we all saw what went wrong. No, I am in good spirits because, I mean, at the end of the day, I lost the fight. But, I mean, I just said at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here at home with my wife and my kids. They're in the other room watching a movie, so they're not disturbing us. But, I'm at home with my wife and my kids, which is more important to me than fighting. So, of course, I'm in good spirits. I mean, shit happens, and I felt like I was in control the entire fight from the opening bell until 4:46. I felt like, well, I say 4:46, probably more like 4:38 or however long that exchange took.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in control, and that was my fight to lose. And I think that's what cuts the deepest is I had that guy's number. I had the ticket, I had the winning ticket, and I got caught. I don't know why anybody. I understand he was the favorite, but I don't understand why anybody would bet on MMA because you could have a guy on paper 100% slated to win, and he gets knocked out. It's just, I mean, it's nature of the beast, man. That's how it goes.
And I love that you brought up the betting thing because I always say I want to bet. I want to do it. And the only time I was close was when Bisping challenged for the title at UFC 199, and he was like 20-1 underdog.
Sure.
And I'm like, $20. I'm like, okay, we've
Boy,
got
yeah.
some,
Yeah.
I also found out right around that time, recently actually, that it's illegal in Florida to bet on fights. So I
Well,
signed.
yeah, you're gonna have some knocks at the door there.
So I signed up for DraftKings, and they ask you your address, and I put in Florida, and it was like, all right, congratulations. And I went to place a bet, and they went, oh no,
Nope.
you're in Florida. And I said, so we can bet on horses, we could bet on dogs,
but not fights.
but not.
What about like football and hockey and what about all that?
I'm sure there's a way to do it, but it says like the site literally says Florida is a state where online gambling is not allowed.
Huh.
So I guess for some people, not me, they would just put that they live somewhere else.
Sure. Interesting. Did not know that. Look at that. Taught me something today. Not that I'm a gambler and I don't live in Florida, so.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody ends up here eventually. Listen, nobody from Florida is from Florida except for like me. So
Select few, right?
I never thought it would be weird in my life for someone to say, "You were born here?" Like, no, you got to be from somewhere else. No, born here. Like that's so weird. Why is it weird? Like, so I know we were gonna try and do this yesterday, and you're actually still working at the firehouse. And from what I could gather, what is it, 13 years now?
Yeah, February. This year, just like last week or something, was 13 years.
That's crazy. So everybody talks about Stipe doing both, you know, him being the firefighter and everything else, and that the camaraderie that comes with it. So being in that position, do you guys have like the same kind of rusings when it comes to, you know, like, you know, whether you win or lose, do they give you a hard time, or do they give you like the crappy jobs to do? But
no, and it's man, I don't get crappy jobs anymore because I'm the second highest ranking black hat, which anybody who knows firefighting is just a firefighter. But I don't have any rank. I'm not a captain, a lieutenant, anything like that. So of the black hats, the backsteppers, firefighters, whatever you want to call them, I'm second highest ranking. So stuff that gets delegated down to me gets delegated down to the next guy. I don't really feel like doing this job because it kind of sucks. So how about you go ahead and do it? But I mean, they're all good about it. I mean, there's not a whole lot of hazing or anything that goes on. I mean, A, I don't put up with anybody's shit, and B, I mean, we all pretty much get along. I mean, there's a couple of little jokes here and there, but like legitimate, like that was some bullshit hazing, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I know. I think Stipe. Now, granted, this is going back like 5 years when we had this conversation, but he was like, "Hey, you're the champion. Here's a mop. Like, go clean the bathroom."
And then they sat there and videoed it. They look at this UFC heavyweight champion mopping the fire floors.
Yeah, exactly. So talk about the work-life balance there, because being a fighter is hard enough as it is. Being a firefighter, being on those front lines, working those 24-hour shifts, 48-hour shifts. I'm hoping it's not more than 48 hours, but
no, I've only worked one 48-hour in my career. And with the way that our schedule is, there's some people that if they catch a 24-hour overtime in the middle of their shift, they'll actually work a full 72 hours, which is something I say never, but again, never is a long time, but I will do everything in my power to not have to work a 72. 48 was long enough. Our schedule is kind of nice. I don't know if we touched on it last time, but
we didn't get to, yeah.
Yeah, but rather than the traditional 24-48s, which a lot of firefighters and EMT medics do, we do a different schedule of 1 on, 1 off, 1 on, 1 off, 1 on, 4 off. And then every 14th day we get what's called a Kelly day, basically a furlough day. Mm-hmm. So if that lands on my first or last day of my cycle, I get 1 on, 1 off, 1 on, 6 off. Or if it lands in the middle, I get 1 on, 3 off, 1 on, 4 off. So it's kind of a nice schedule. Regardless, every 5 days I get a mini vacation. I get 4 days. So it's kind of a nice schedule.
And that's got to be amazing. I got to touch, like, what was the worst part about that 48-hour shift? So you said you only had one, so you got to remember.
Just being away from my family, which I mean, it's they're allowed to come and visit. So I mean, they came up there and visited for a little bit, but I mean, an hour versus being at home with them it's a little different. But at the same time, I mean, time and money, I can use it when I need to. Which the overtime day wasn't a day that I actually needed off.
Mm-hmm.
So I always take comp time versus pay. Because, I mean, time's worth gold to me, especially with my boys growing up, and they're in wrestling now, and they're going to have some things that I may need some time off for. So I'll take a day that I don't need for a day that I do need.
And I think that's a really interesting way to look at it. I mean, you've really prioritized being able to support your family, getting to do what you love, but not sacrificing the family time, which I feel like a lot of people, that's what happens. You watch a lot of those. Go ahead.
Yep. There's I mean, there is no more time. You're not getting time back.
Mm-mm.
There's always more money to be made, but there is never more time to be made. And I mean, some people, I don't know if they just look past it or don't realize it till it's too late, or when their kids are grown and gone. You always hear these stories of, man, I these people laying on their deathbed, and I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done more with my kids. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. And I'm not doing that. I am not going to do that. I will do everything in my power to take my kids everywhere with me, do everything with my kids, try to, and I know there's going to be times where I'm going to have to miss things, but I'm going to do my best to attend everything that they have. So that's my way of looking at it. You don't get more time.
No, and that's so cool, especially, with, like you said, the boys in wrestling. You have all those people who talk about, their parents having to work so they could do those things. And you found this unique balance that I would say is probably pretty rare. Not a lot of people in your position as a fighter have that luxury. I'm going to call it the luxury, but it's a state of mind.
Sure.
That you have that, at the end of the day, fighting isn't your end-all, be-all. It's your family.
Right. That's exactly. And, I'll be honest, without my fire department job, it would be hard for me to have a career in fighting because, again, I mean, when I started fighting, there was no career in fighting for 135-pound fighters.
No.
So I was fighting for fun. Dude, I want to punch somebody in the head. Let's go do this. And, I mean, when it became bigger, if I were still working out by the steel mills, I mean, when I first started fighting, I was putting in 60-hour weeks and still training at night and fighting on the weekends, and you can't do that at the highest level. I mean, there's just no way possible. So the firefighting career has in essence allowed me to maintain a full-time fighting career as well.
Well, and you don't see a lot of people on your level who have been fighting for, we're going on 18 years, if you can believe it. Like,
yeah, 2003, April of 03 was my first fight.
Jeez. Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yep. I'll never forget that fight.
What was the best part about it?
Yeah, after it was over. Because I mean, 18-year-old kid, like I said, I had hair down to hair working at Hollister and
no.
30. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I looked like a surfer kid. Fighting this 36-year-old man who was balding, gray hair, and when he looks at you and says he's gonna kill you, well, yeah, I hope not, but let's try it.
Holy shit.
Sure.
Now you gotta dig up later. Dig up and send me some 18-year-old Eddie Wineland stuff.
It's blonde highlights.
Oh my
long hair.
God.
When my hair gets long, it starts curling, so it's real kind of comes down and curly. And yeah, I used to have the beanie, so the beanie would cover my hair, and then my hair would flip out underneath it. Dude, it was straight California.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So mine goes to here and goes straight out. So I don't let it go that way. So we don't let that happen.
Absolutely, I understand. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking some of my younger days.
Well, and now you've got
that's how we grow, right? That's how we learn, we evolve, we grow, we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny. I'm gonna bring this up just because of what you said. The best part about that first fight was that it was when it was over.
Mm-hmm.
And I was recently at the BKFC, the Knuckle Mania. I feel like some graphic should explode across the screen when you say If anybody wants to throw that in there,
do spirit fingers. Do the spirit fingers. Do the spirit fingers.
But the post-fight media scrum, like, I feel like everybody was afraid to ask Lieben questions. After that amazing fight he had, his retirement fight. And I just said, like, walk us through the arc of, like, what it was like for your first fight and what it was like for your second fight. And the funniest part is what I heard and what he said, because I went back and watched it, were two different things. Because what I heard him say was, I was scared as shit the first time, and I was scared as shit this time.
Sure.
And then when I played it back, he didn't say shit. And I was like, well, how did I hear that?
Well, that's probably what he was thinking.
Yeah, probably. He was like, I'm trying to be
See,
PC.
you were just inside his head. You were hearing his thoughts.
Listen, that'd be... I'd have the one-up on everybody at that point. I don't need to break news.
If that was the case.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But coming in this, career arc, I don't want to call yours an arc because you're not done.
Sure.
You obviously still have the condition and everything else. And like you said, you were controlling the fight for that long. So what has been, like, the best part of growing through all these years, versus fighting 6 or 7 times and probably in a year and a half when you started, to kind of slowing that down a little bit and changing the lifestyle? Because obviously the firehouse, the family, all that has changed and kind of restructure your priority.
Sure. It's allowed me to not only doing what I'm doing, but the people that I've met along the way has kind of changed my way that I look at things. Jason being a big one, again, at Applied, my strength guy. When I needed a rest day, he would just say, dude, take a rest. You're not in it today. It's not worth your time to be here beating your head against the wall when you're getting no juice out of this squeeze. And it took me a long time. Honestly, it took me probably the better part of almost 10 years to realize that.
Wow.
And between that and Mark teaching me to, when I first met Mark Vives at Newbury, he slapped me in a guillotine. And I mean, it was like immediate, okay, tap, tap, tap. And he went, what are you doing? It wasn't even locked yet. Oh, I don't know. You had me in a guillotine, Here I am, some fresh kid, a wrestler, and I got this Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I don't know what he was, a purple or a brown belt at the time. Grabs my neck. Well, shit, I got to get out of here before I pass out.
Yeah.
I hit the panic button. He taught me not to hit that panic button, just to kind of slow down a little bit. Slow down, breathe, work your way out of it. Take a rest day. Just train smarter. Be smarter, and rather than train harder. Again, in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, when I was 22, 23 years old, I could go all day, every day, and feel fantastic. I feel better at 36, honestly, than I do at 26. And it's just because of the people that I've met along the way and the things that they've taught me of take a rest day, relax a minute, think about this, work your way through this. It just changing the way I do things a little bit.
And I love that you brought up the panic button, because we all get there when you start training and somebody locks in a rear naked choke and you tap and they go, why did you tap? Like, anytime you're rolling with somebody, like, I'm a blue belt now, like, you roll with somebody and you tap and they don't know why, you freaked out.
You did something wrong.
I've tapped and they go, what happened? I was like, you had this. And they're like, no, I didn't. Shit. But
you shot a double like a tap.
Tap. You said you're gonna die. All right, I'm out.
Yeah. Gotta go.
But it was getting taught the 2-finger. Like, if you could put 2 fingers here between your hand and someone else's, I said you're fine. And I've had people give up trying because they're like, you should be tapping right now, and I'm like, I can barely breathe, but I'm not gonna let you know that.
Good. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. If I can at least squeak that through, okay. At least I got one more breath's worth of fight in me.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem for me is when anyone goes for the guillotine, they go like this.
Start pulling beard hair.
They've got all that beard hair. So I've tapped to a beardotine. What are we gonna call it? A gillabeard? Like
a beardotine. This is no lie. So Keith Wisniewski, I've only tapped him one time in my entire life, and it's because I don't know if he had my back. He had something. I mean, it was just shy of he was getting ready to tap me out, and I just sort of shit my pants. It smelled so bad. He let go. He said, "Tap, tap. This is yours. Tap." The one and only time I've ever tapped Keith Wisniewski was it was like I said, I almost had to let a turd loose, but it was it was that or get rear naked choked. Hey buddy. Matt, you wanna say hi?
Yeah.
Come here. Tell him hi.
Hi.
What's up?
That's same. Tell him hi.
What happened?
What happened? He fell out of bed. He looks just like Dad. His eyes dotted up. It's not even a cool story. So
maybe if it's a bunk bed, it's a cool story.
Yeah, no, not quite. We need to figure out something a little cooler than that. Like, we'll figure it out. But yeah, his eye got dotted up. All right, buddy.
He's like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, that's Sam's. I don't know what to do with my hands.
That has come up so often recently, and I just don't know. Listen, anytime that comes up, and I'm sure it's probably been brought up in the show, I was like, but I worked at Circuit City. So anytime they make Circuit City jokes in that movie, I'm like, damn it. Like it hits here.
Right?
Oh, gosh. You just gave me a memory I haven't thought of in quite some time. 2 instances where I've fallen out of bed.
Thanks, Sam. No.
I was like, what happened?
No, he's got his Hulk out and he's screaming. Hulk smash. Yeah, we don't need that right now. Sammy, go back in the bedroom, please, bud.
Don't let him watch Joe Coy. He might color something.
I don't know what's Joe Coy.
Oh gosh, dude. It's a Filipino comedian, and his son got a hold of a green magic marker.
Oh boy.
And colored something. You can figure out what that is. So, I'll send you the link afterwards. It's so funny. But 2 times that I've fallen out of bed. My brother and I had a bunk bed, and we used to hold each other over the side because that's totally normal.
Right.
And one day I slipped, and I went straight down into the carpet, and it burned here all the way up. I got called barbecue face.
Blow your neck out.
Yeah, I got called barbecue face for like 6 months. Kids are brutal, man. I was like 8.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm telling kids are brutal, man.
And
kids
then
are ruthless.
What was it? 6th grade? I was at my buddy's house, and he had cement floors.
Yeah.
And I went to sleep on the top bunk because he had a bunk bed, and I woke up on the floor, like on the bottom bunk, and I'm like,
how'd that happen?
I woke up and I went, ow, and I looked, and my arm was bruised from here to here.
Ooh.
I go, what happened? He goes, you don't remember? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you rolled off the bed onto the concrete floor.
Nope, don't remember that one. So let's circle back to the kids are ruthless.
Oh.
After my Sean O'Malley fight, Mark had reached out to me because it was still obviously mid-pandemic and all this other garbage, and hey, we want to do a member appreciation thing for everybody who stuck it out. So do you think maybe you and Bob could come up and show a few things and talk about a few things? Oh yeah, no problem. So
I don't like where this is going.
we're mid-seminar, right? We've been going, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. We're mid-seminar. And this kid, he calls me over. He goes, hey, come here. He says, is this the one where you show us how to get knocked out? Dude, I looked at him. I said, wait, what did you say? He goes, is this where you're going to show us how to get knocked out? I went, all right. Well played, kid. Just turn around.
Like, what do you say?
Like, you gotta be kidding me. This kid's got nuts about this fucking big. Hey, is this where you're gonna teach us how to get knocked out? Dude, you're 8. Come on.
Here, let me show you this guillotine.
Exactly. Hold on. Guys, I got a new technique. I'm gonna show you. This kid right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you on him. But yeah, I about lost it. It was hilarious. I mean, it made me laugh. It's kind of like, ha. Well, all right. Well played.
Again, if you're out there watching this, you probably shouldn't be because you're 9. But oh my
yeah,
God.
I didn't even know what to say. I don't know what to do other than to laugh at that.
Well, and I think that's a great way to look at it too. I think that's like my new thing. Like that's a great way to look at it. That's a great outlook.
Well, so I get these people. I get these people on my Instagram and my Facebook and all this stuff they're like, hey man, you suck. Blah blah blah. blah. You should do this. All right, cool. I always just give him the thumbs up. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate the advice. I think the one guy I told him, hey, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, but some are just more rancid than others. So it's just thanks, bud. Thumbs up. The one guy when I fought Popov,
that was
one
a
of
great
his
fight.
one of his fans. Oh, June 8th, you die. Cool, buddy. Thanks for the warning. And it's a. Well, what do you do? These guys are halfway across the world. They're talking shit to you. I mean, I've done this dance 40 freaking times. You're not gonna bother me. My skin is freaking inches thick. You're not gonna get to me. It ain't no big deal unless you start talking about my family or my wife or my kids or unless it directly affects me and my family. Talk away, buddy. I don't give 2 shits. Does not bother me one bit.
And to anybody watching who wants to start shit, that was not an invitation.
No, that is not. Let's to me, race, family, religion, all that stuff's that's off the table. Everything else, I'm fair game. My family's not. I look at it the same way. I don't talk shit to anybody, but if I did run my mouth, that's probably how I would conduct myself.
Yeah.
I'll talk about you, but I'm not going to talk about those around you.
Oh, we've seen how that can affect fighters, and I'm not going to bring up McNugget's name. We're just going to call him McNugget. But
yep, it's all, dude. It's off limits. It's off limits. That's just an unspoken rule. That shit is off limits.
Well, and people look at wrestling. Wrestling does it all the time. I'm like, of course they do it all the time. They're acting.
It's scripted. That's how they play their game.
It's called entertainment for a reason.
Right.
It's not even called wrestling anymore. Or federation. It's World Wrestling Entertainment.
If I'm not mistaken, and I could be very wrong, and I apologize if I am, but aren't professional wrestlers, aren't they part of the Actors Union?
I'm not sure. Anybody want to challenge?
I feel like somebody told me that, and I apologize if I'm wrong. I could be very, very wrong, and nobody's ever accused me of being smart. Okay, but these guys that are screen playing in front of this camera. Oh, I hate you. I did this and that. They're going to the bar and they're having a beer. They're hanging out. They're sharing hotel rooms. They're partying together. I'm sure there's a couple of people on there that they don't get along, but I don't know. I don't follow professional wrestling, so I don't know much about it.
Well, the Screen Actors Guild is looking at WWE's treatment of wrestlers as of November, so
okay.
This might have we might need to look into this later. Listen, I'll turn it on. I grew up watching wrestling as a kid, like.
Well, yeah, I watched Hulk Hogan and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. I watched in the golden years. I mean, those dudes were legitimate freaking badasses.
Mm-hmm.
Not that these guys now aren't, but I think there's a whole lot of it. Just it makes me cringe to watch it. It's like, I'll watch one sentence. Okay, I gotta go.
Well, and you'll watch it and you'll go, well, okay, so he's going to throw him against the ropes. Okay, he's going to jump over him. Okay, he's going to duck under. Okay, he's going to miss it. And I'm like, you figured out everything.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But anyway, one thing I did want to touch on, because you said June 8th, you're going to die. So the first fight we did, that we all got to see you fight live, it was my first UFC event, was June 8th, 2012. So you have a win on June 8th, 2012 and June 8th, 2019. So sure. I'm sure you're not the only fighter with something like that. But
I was hoping that June 8th, 2020, because that's when I fought. Or no,
June 6th.
Was that June 6th?
Yeah,
it was June 6th. Okay, so I missed it. I missed it by a couple of days. See, if we would have fought 2 days later,
you would have won.
I had your number, Sean. Yeah. I had your number.
And don't think I'm pulling this stuff off the top of my head. It's right here in front of me because I'm like, I'm
Sure.
not going to say it.
That's all right. That's all right. You're prepared.
Listen,
yeah, I just wing it. I just wing it. I'm
it's
always
the mustache.
better when I wing it.
Wing it.
Wing it.
So how is the car coming along? Because I know last time we got to see some pictures.
I haven't touched it, man. I'm still working on the house. I know. I'm clearing a spot, so I got a nice big pole barn out back. But
You mean the one that took like years to build?
Yeah, 7 months. 7 months for a guy and his crew to build a 1,600 square foot barn that I'm very confident I could have done in a month or under myself. Anyways, I'm sitting here looking at my barn that's about 170 feet from my house, and I'm looking at my door to my garage that's about 30 feet. And it's kind of halfway heated and insulated and all that garbage. So I'm currently clearing a spot in my garage to pull the car from the barn into the garage, and maybe we'll get a little more done in it there.
All right, yeah, road trip it because that thing needs to see more than just Indiana.
Yeah. Well, E85 is it's kind of scarce at some gas stations, so I gotta be careful where I travel.
That happened. We were in North Carolina, and my dad was like, "Don't go down this street." He's like, "Listen, if there's ever a time that we got punked by the rental car company, it was our last trip to North Carolina, because we rented a car from the airport. We're like 3 days into the trip. You look over the car, you make sure there aren't any dents, all that good stuff, but you buy the insurance for a reason. Let's just leave it at that." The place we're staying, the couple comes out and they said, "Oh, you're from Florida?" And we're like, "How do you know that?" And they're like, "Well, the license plate on your car." And I went, "Nah, they must have been looking at a different car." I went out and looked at it. They gave us a car with Florida plates. No better way to make us stand out to everybody that was out there. And for anybody listening who's in the game development world, we're going to create, horror movie bingo. A little card you could just play. Because we almost got run off the road by a local tow company on a very, very desolated road. We were in Hot Springs, North Carolina. There's like 3 restaurants, a brewery. The police station has 1 cop. Like, it's a horror movie town. Like, that's really what that is.
Yeah.
I know it's supposed to be relaxing,
very...
but I'm like, we're going to die. Oh, man. Anyways, now that I got off that weird tangent, I'm going to throw the mic to you, and I'm going to go, what do you want to tell us about? What do you want to talk about? Because we've talked about a lot.
What do I want to talk about?
That mullet that's growing on the back of your head?
I talk about anything, man. It's I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of people have said it. I'll talk about. I'm not quite sure. My button is what it used to be, so
Ooh.
I feel like those shots that Castaneda hit me with. I feel like 5 years ago I would have walked through those and smiled and tagged him back and put him on his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Even the shot that O'Malley hit me with, I feel like 5-6 years ago, it may have rocked me, but I don't think it would have throttled me. It's one of those things where it gets your wheels spinning, So now is it time, or is it time that I change things up and do something different? And I don't say do something different other than fighting, but do something different while fighting. Right. So that's the weird thing though is we don't spar a whole lot, but the couple of times that I have sparred, I got tagged hard. And was fine. So I don't know if there's a difference between big gloves and little gloves. I'm sure there probably is. But I mean, when you get hit on the button, you get hit on the button. And I'm wrestling with the fact of getting older. Been in the game for a long time. Is that button just kind of half reset?
And I didn't see that coming in a million years.
See,
So
you're
like,
gonna throw me for a loop, right?
Damn
Right?
it.
So I don't want to be that guy. I don't have to be the tough guy because again I've got my family, and I don't want to be the guy that hangs on for too long and does the same thing for too long. Which I mean, shit, I've done the same thing for 18 freaking years. It's probably a little too long to do the same damn thing, but it works for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's worked for me thus far, and but I don't want to be that guy that just continues to hang on for just for that sake of hanging on, you know. I think the thing that sucks the most when I take a loss, especially now because my boys are watching on TV, is both times with O'Malley and Castaneda, my oldest Jack looked at my mom and said, "Grandma, does that mean that guy's stronger than my dad?" So that one tugs on the heartstrings, and it's kind of like, fuck, you know, and that's weighing in the back of my head when I'm going out there is you know, I can't let these boys down. And with this fight, I felt phenomenal. There was no way I'm letting these kids down, and got hit on the button, you know. And with Herzog, initially, I'll be honest, I thought it was a bad stoppage. So
okay.
Just about a day or two ago, I really kind of sat down and thought about it. And as he stopped the fight, the moment he stopped the fight, I stood up and looked at him and went, "What are you doing?" Like legitimately clear as day. I had my bearings about me. I knew where I was at. What are you doing? And I almost think that he kind of questioned it too, because he had this puzzled look on his face like, wait a minute, I just stopped this fight. And this dude stood up and looked at me dead nuts in the face without a wobble or a glare and went, "What are you doing, man?" But from that point where I took that first shot to that point where I was on the cage coming back up, it was a little foggy. So I don't think it was a bad stoppage. I think that John was on it, and that he wasn't letting up, and that just because in that instance I was clear doesn't mean that the next shot I wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, even Jason said, he goes, "Dude, we can look at the tape." I said, "No, Jason, you've been doing this a long time, so it's pointless to sit here and argue with you. I'm not gonna, and even if I truly felt that I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you, because then I just look stupid. You know, and it's water under the bridge at this point." He said, "Well, we'll go look. We can go look at the tapes." I trust you, man. You know, you've been reffing a long time, so if you say it's a good call, it's a good call. We leave it at that. But like I said, it makes me wonder. Makes me wonder if that button's been pushed, which I hope it hasn't. But at the same time, the only way to find out is to get hit again, and I don't know.
Well, and I mean,
sure. got some demons to wrestle with, I guess.
Look at it this way: you got 40 fights. You already mentioned that.
That's it.
You have 5 knockout losses. Most of them more recent. So you've been fighting most of your career getting hit with the hardest shots day after day, time after time, and you're like, "I'm fine." I still think the friggin' Renan Barão one was bullshit, but I'm going way back on that one.
That one, I'll go to the grave saying that was bullshit, because he kicked me in the collarbone. If you go back and watch that, he kicked me in the collarbone. But again, poster boy, and we need to keep this guy winning. I feel like maybe they knew I had his number in that first round. I was like, oh shit, he's got to do something here. We got to, if it's even close, we got to call it. You know, I don't like to think that way, but it's always possible. Who knows?
I don't either, and I want to touch on 2 things, because this very topic just came up yesterday. But number one, think about how many times you've seen a guy get interviewed after he's been knocked out, or get knocked out completely, get punched again, and you're awake and you're like, "All right, I'm fine." Like, and I respect you a lot for that moment.
The ladder there is what I'm wondering. Like I said, because from standing to cage is a little foggy, a little hazy. But the moment he stepped in and stopped the fight, like I stood straight up, clear as day.
And I'm going to bring up Cruz and Cejudo because I still think that was a horrible stoppage.
I don't quite remember it, but I'm sure if you refresh my memory.
He was basically getting up. Like, he was standing up. And they stopped it, and he did the same thing. He turned around like, what are you doing?
Yep. I mean, Barao and Faber.
Yeah,
Barao and Faber.
God.
You know?
Was that
Faber,
149,
Faber,
I think.
He's here doing this, and, I mean, you can barely see his thumb. But, I mean, what do you want the guy to do? He's not in danger. But if he does something to signal to you that he's not in danger, he's potentially in danger of the fight being finished.
Yeah.
So he's yeah, I'm good. And meanwhile he's right here. You know, I think that was a premature stoppage.
Well, and it brings us to the main event last weekend. You know, the Derek Lewis Courage Blades, because first of all, I mean this with the utmost respect. I'm not a fighter. I was like, but what Curtis Blades did was dumb. He didn't set it up, and he had been setting up everything in there.
Yep.
And like I said, I say that with the utmost respect. Somebody's going to get on here and say, you don't know how to fight. I don't. You punch me in the face, whatever.
Sure.
But
hold on, buddy.
Blades was clearly out.
Well, you go ask your mom, buddy.
Listen, it's not a show without an
interruption.
interruption.
He's Iron Man, okay? That's at least it's Iron Man.
Listen, he's trying to save the world.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
But Blades was clearly out. And
from the first shot.
From the first shot. And then Lewis hits it a couple more times. Does his little celebration. Does the DX suck it. Because, you know. And then goes, it's Herb Dean's fault. You know, I can't just shut off. So I wanted to get your opinion on something like that because I know the idea is that you're supposed to keep fighting until they stop you.
I know what I would do, but I can see both sides of the fence here.
Okay.
But at the same time, that dude was lights out, not moving. Completely lights out, not moving. I understand the continue fighting until the ref stops you because I got caught with my pants down when I fought Benavidez. I clocked him and he turned around and went, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I stopped.
Oh, man.
To me, this whoa, whoa, whoa was a tap. Well, that wasn't a tap. I mean, if I would have pursued while he was like this and clipped him with another one, it could have been lights out. But I hit that dude so fucking hard that he, whoa, man. I mean, legitimately out loud, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not a freaking a horse sled here. We're not stopping, but I stopped. So I can see that point, but at the same time, again, myself and O'Malley, clearly out.
Yeah.
Out cold. Just said, all right, dude, he had enough. Me personally, look at my Ken Stone fight. When I slammed that dude, I slammed him, and I popped up to punch and realized if you watch those last two punches, I realized he was out cold and went dink, dink, just to make sure the ref was coming. It wasn't a bang. I didn't slam his head again. I realized he was out and went bing, bing, gave him a little tap just to make sure the ref was coming. I'm not going to continue to beat it. I mean, that's how you kill somebody.
Yeah.
That's legitimately how you kill. Oh, he got Iron Man.
Oh.
That's legitimately how you kill somebody. You kill somebody, you break their jaw. I mean, I'm not there. I'm not there to rearrange somebody's face, man. I'm not there maliciously. I'm there out of sport. I'm there for pay. I'm there to be competitive. You know, so those last two shots, I could understand him again. Hey, you know, standing there, ready to fire, or even just the ever so subtle tap. Hey, I'm gonna hit him if you don't stop me. But those two shots that he threw afterwards, I think they shouldn't have been that hard. But
I get it. In that moment, you're like you said, the other guys across the cage looking at you, trying to kill you, trying to take money off your table. I get it.
Sure. You know, the after celebration again. I've never I've never been a celebratory guy. I believe, I don't know that if there's words exchanged between them, but he said something about Blades talking some shit or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know the whole backstory behind it. But even then, I mean, you see guys who legitimately, you look at John Jones and Rashad Evans when they fought. Those two dudes hated each other.
Yeah.
They beat the snot out of each other and then hugged it out.
Yeah. GSP and Nick Diaz.
To me, that's a fight. That's a fight. I mean, you don't like each other going in. You don't like each other going in. You both got big enough nuts to stand there and punch each other. So at the end, you better respect that man that just stood there with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I have such a problem with the idea behind it is you build it up, you let it go afterwards.
Yep.
You don't wait 6-8 months and try to rekindle that. Like, you had your chance.
Sure.
Get back up the ladder and do what you got to do. Because, again, the GSP Nick Diaz fight all those years ago, I'll remember UFC 157. That one's in my head.
Okay.
Or not 57. Now it's 58. My bad. 57 was Carmouche and Rousey, which just had its 8-year anniversary.
I'm just gonna believe you because, again, your memory's better than mine. And you got a computer sitting in front of you. I got.
All right. No computer. I know that stuff. So, Liz Carmouche was the first fighter I ever interviewed. So for her to get that chance against Rousey was huge to watch because I was like, come on, do it. And, she almost did. So
yeah.
I got so far off the topic there, but damn it.
We're all right. That's what makes this fun because we're not tracking one direction. We can go here. We can go there. We can go here. We can go wherever you want.
We can go everywhere, but showing those shorts again. I don't know if that's.
Hold on. You said it. We can go there.
Oh my God.
This is your fault, Matt.
That is my fault. The exclaiming
Don't
during a
act
fight.
like you're not impressed.
The exclaiming during a fight. Joe Warren had happened to in Bellator.
Mm-hmm.
And he went, ow! And they stopped the fight. And he was like, what'd you do? They're like, that's a tap.
Yeah. And dude, I'm telling you, the Benavidez fight.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
He legitimately, he turns his back and goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. 2 hands out, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I looked at the ref, and the ref looked at me and was like, well, all right, I guess we're still fighting then. I mean, I tagged this dude, he turns around and does this. That, to me, that's a verbal tap.
I think years ago, I was fortunate enough to, interview Boss Rutan via email. Those good old days. And I was like, what are the top 5 moments? Because I was just getting in as a journalist. I'm like, I got to ask the same question all the time. And he was like, I was in a fight. And he goes, and I got knocked down. And the guy went to follow me down. And I just went, wait. And he goes, the guy backed up, looked at the ref, and he stood up. I said, can you imagine just being like,
time out. All right, I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna remember that next time. Time out. The Boss Rutan did it.
Boss is gonna start messaging you. Who told you that? Who told you that?
Outstanding.
Kick to the head. Liver shot.
A dang.
Listen, I always joke around. I was like, if I was a boxer, I'd never hit anybody in the face. I said, I'd just hit him in the liver over and over. And I'm like, eventually.
Right. Yep. It's funny you say that because in the Castaneda fight, about the time I realized, because he did a very good job of covering.
Yeah,
he did a very good job of. He was elbows high. He was tight. I had a hard time getting anything through. I got a couple through, but about the time I realized go to the body, that's about the time he tagged me. So, who knows? The next one could have been a sunk down liver shot or a shot to the breadbasket, and I mean it could have changed the whole demeanor of the fight, but a little too late.
I gotta love that you're humble and you've got that little bit of fighting spirit, like that. Like, well, I mean, it could have been different. You're not like, oh, this is bullshit. You should have given me,
that's what I said. This is the fight game. I don't understand why anybody bets on MMA. No. That baffles me because you could take bum off the street and the champion, and that bum goes one time, just gets lucky. You know, there's 100% chance this guy's gonna win, but gets caught.
Listen, man, we know it used to happen. You know, nobody likes talking about the Yakuza.
Yeah,
I'm like shutting my blinds right now.
I might leave you alone on that one.
Yeah. All I know is I remember watching, you know, an interview with Gary Goodridge, and they're basically like, "Here's a briefcase of money," and he ended up winning the fight instead of losing. And like the next, like, I want to say like the next 9 or 10 fights, like he lost by brutal knockouts. So it was like, and then of course there's the whole Kimbo Slice Seth Petrozelli story, which they've made that abundantly clear that Seth was not supposed to win. And he beat Kimbo like 14 seconds.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
And I don't ever like to think of that as fights, but you kind of brought up an interesting point where you're like, you know, sometimes the poster boy can't lose.
Sure.
You know, when McNugget's path up to the title, I feel like if he had fought Chad Mendes on a full camp, he would have lost.
It's very possible. It's very possible because that was what, 2 weeks notice.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous, and I'm like,
and dominated him in the first round, and everybody knows that Mendes in shape, he's a 5-round guy.
Yeah, easy.
No doubt, he's a 5-round guy. So very very well could have been different.
So hate to dwell in the past there, but I mean it's some valid points, but you bringing up the button again, I'm still like trying to process it.
Well, you know, it's you got to be real with yourself. I mean, we're our own worst critic, right? And if I can't see it for myself, I try to be real with myself. I try to not. Oh well, no, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight Peter Yan. I'm gonna fight Peter Yan. Not that I can't beat him, but I mean that's. I'll be honest with you. I mean, right now that's a freaking lopsided match. That dude is a scary man at 135. Not that I wouldn't take it or wouldn't have a chance, but that dude, he's a bad dude. He's a bad dude. I mean, him and Aljamain Sterling. That's gonna be a phenomenal fight. I'm excited to see that fight, but. Going back to, you got to be real with yourself. You know, I really believe if I show up and I'm on my A game and I perform, I can beat anybody. I really do believe that. Now, I have to show up and be on my A game.
Yeah.
You know, we don't all show up and on our A game every time. It just doesn't happen. It's just some of ours B and C games are better than somebody else's A game.
Shit.
Well, it's the truth. That's just the cold hard truth.
That's my favorite thing in the pre-fight interviews. This is the best shape of my life. This is the best I'm ever feeling. Just once, I want somebody to go before a fight and then win and be like, man, I feel like shit. Like I didn't.
Well, it's funny because people ask me all the time. Well, you know, how do you feel about this fight? It's a fucking fight, man.
Yes, it's a fight.
One of two things are going to happen. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to win, or I'm going to go in there and I'm going to lose. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go in there and lose, but
it's a possibility.
Is a possibility.
Yeah.
That is a possibility. It's always a possibility. Any time you step inside that cage and they close that door, that is a possibility. I don't care who you are. It is a possibility. You know, and people they don't. And I understand they don't want to think that way or what. Oh, no, there's no way. There's no way he beats me. There's no way he beats me. Well, that's just a lie. That's just a straight up lie because there is ways that he could beat you. So just go out there and accept it. Have fun with it. As long as you gave 100% effort, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? Like I said, this guy's B game's better than my A game. Fuck me, right?
Well, and like, what do you say to that?
It's just, I mean, that's the truth. And the unfortunate thing is, people don't like to hear the truth. Me, I am the guy that responds better to, hey, fuckhead, what are you doing? Rather than, hey, you know, well, do you think maybe you could try doing? No, get in my ass. If I'm doing something wrong or need to do something different. Again, I've got skin that's about 3 miles wide. You're not going to hurt my feelings by yelling at me. You know, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to ask you for some sidewalk chalk in a safe space because I need to go fix my feelings. No, my feelings are just fine. I respond better to negative reinforcement than I do positive. You know, come on, man, you're doing great. You're doing great. No, shut the fuck up. I'm doing terrible right now. Tell me what's going on.
Well, and you're not going to grow that way. You're not going to grow with
Absolutely
yes
not.
men in the corner going, it's
I was
okay.
just going to say,
it's
you
okay.
get your yes men. You get your yes man. They keep doing this, keep doing this, keep doing this, give you that false sense. And then when you get your ass handed to you, you're like, dude.
Yeah, what's going on? They're like, you're fine.
Yep. No, I'm not fine. I just got worked.
Yeah.
So quit lying to me, would you?
So what we just need to do is we just need to look at the times where you got hit on the button and see if there's a specific spot. And just what needs it.
It's probably somewhere around here. I'm gonna bet it's somewhere around here or here.
Are you sure my face isn't red? It doesn't hurt here or here, but right here. No, it's fine. Oh God, what happened to your face? Listen, I'm just gonna bring up Dos Anjos, and this is something that I've always thought was really strange. When he fought Clay Guida all those years ago, and he got his jaw broken. He's got a titanium jaw. You can't tell me that doesn't have any effect or any bearing.
So, I used to have a titanium jaw, and then they took the plates out because everything rejected. And then the second time I got my jaw broke, they put another plate in there. It didn't reject, but I could feel something pushing through. I can't remember if we touched on this the last time we interviewed either. But they had a plate in my jaw here, and I could feel something on the inside of my lower mandible there, and it felt like a screw. It
Dr. Wineland.
See, right? I told you. I only play one on TV, though. So I called the doctor. And I asked him, I said, hey, you know, this thing's kind of starting to irritate me a little bit. Should we take the plate out? What should we do? Well, he said, well, if you're going to continue fighting, I recommend taking the plate out. Well, then let's take the plate out. So he took the plate out, and the first thing I did, I remember waking up on the bed. They were still sewing me up. It was funny because they timed the anesthesia. I was waking up, and they were putting stitches in, and I specifically remember hearing them say, "Okay, push a little more," because they would put a suture in, and I would wince, so they knew I was waking up, and.
My worst nightmare. That's my worst nightmare.
They said push some more anesthesia ball. I said no, just get it done. I'm sitting there, just get it done, you know. And so they got that done. And as soon as they got that done, I took my hand and I started pushing on my lower jaw. It was a screw. There was a screw poking through I mean, it wasn't broke. It was a screw. But it was just it was irritating, hurt, and as soon as he took it out, it was altogether better. So I'm sure having my jaw broken twice probably plays something. See, even when I broke my jaw 2 times.
How long ago was that?
The Johnny Eduardo fight, 2014.
Oh, damn! Look at you.
So my first one was in 2004, and the second one was in 2014. Both times that I busted my jaw, it busted in the same spot. I didn't lose any consciousness. Didn't knock me out. It was just kind of whack. Shit. So, you know, the first time I actually continued fighting. He hit me, cracked me, and he pursued. I grabbed onto him, threw a knee, and I remember trying to close my mouth, and I couldn't close my mouth. And it felt like they had knocked a tooth out. Couldn't close my mouth. So I let go, and I signaled to the ref, and he kind of shouldered off and came down. Boom! So it was broke here, and when he shouldered off and hit me, he broke it here. So he broke it in 2 spots. Oh. Never lost consciousness. The ref came over and stopped the fight. He said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I don't know. I can't close my mouth." You know. And then in the second fight with the Johnny Eduardo fight, he knocked me down. I never lost consciousness. I mean, it was kind of one of those little whoa.
Yeah.
Right. I got a little woozy, but never lost consciousness. And that one, luckily, he just broke it in this spot. Same spot that it broke the first time, just this spot stayed together. but never lost. I feel like I used to be able to get hit in the head with a baseball bat and continue to smile.
Jeez.
So I don't know. There's it's funny because a lot of that's one of the big things I get on my Instagram is, oh, you got a glass chin, you got this, you get knocked out, blah blah blah, all this. Dude, you're not telling me anything I don't fucking know.
Thanks for telling me I don't, like what I don't know about this.
Right, and I wouldn't even go as far as say is my jaw is glass, because I mean he tagged me a couple of times in that fight where I was like, okay, yeah, I got hit. I think it was the follow-up shots. He did a very good job of following up. It was bing, 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 bing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just a one and done. It was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All of which were landing. So I think just what are you gonna do?
Listen, and we've seen it.
Keep paddling.
We've seen the Jaws kind of make a resurgence, and the one I'm gonna use. And I know this one, but I wanted to make sure I had it right. Guys like Arlovsky, who back in 2009, 2010, 2011, lost to Fedor, Brett Rogers, Bigfoot Silva, and Sergey Karanatanov, all by knockout except for Bigfoot Silva.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wins a couple. He has a no contest with Tim Sylvia, which I don't know why the two of them had another fight, but anyways, fights Anthony Johnson, who was fighting at heavyweight. And gets back to the UFC and starts knocking people out, starts winning fights, and you're like,
sure,
he's taking punches from people he didn't used to be able to do so. So I think it's changing your game, like you said. It's not changing. You're not going to start competing jiu-jitsu only now. Like,
I hate to say it because it's just not my style, but I may actually have to do this a couple of times.
Headphones. Answer the phone.
Yeah, I just I might need to think about it. And not only that, I mean it's I know my mom, she's been wanting me to hang it up for a long time, but more so I need to talk to I need to talk to my boys. I need to talk to my boys. I need to talk to my wife. And I know she's a nervous wreck every time I fight, but at the same time, it's I need to be okay with it myself and realize that I don't have any more left to give. So yeah, we're I don't even know what to say.
You're getting choked up, damn it! We gotta talk about something.
And I'm not saying that I'm seriously thinking of walking, and I'm not saying that I'm seriously thinking of taking another fight, because in my heart, I'll fight till the day I'm dead. If physically I could get in there with a cane, give me a cane sword. Okay, here we go. Give me a cane sword, we'll be all right. But you can only do it so long, and I feel like 18 years is significantly longer than a lot of people have done it. So,
well, and I mean, not to get more deep than we already have been, but we're seeing all these CTE, we're seeing all these guys.
That's another thing
and
that scares the shit
you're still functioning, like you're still playing a doctor on TV.
That's another thing that scares me is again looking at my boys, my family down the road. I don't want Dad to be a 60-year-old vegetable or a 60-year-old madman because he's got brain damage, or we'll Dad shit his pants again. Let me go change his diaper. I mean, unfortunately, if it comes down to that, to where it's just I'm not even functioning, dude,
I don't even want to talk about it. No.
Yeah, you're right. Give me some good stuff and just put me out to pasture. But no, they don't need to spend their life taking care of me, and I don't want it to ever possibly get to that point. So, again, some demons to wrestle with.
I feel like I'm trying to say this in a way that's not going to sound weird, but I feel like we just did a roller coaster over your mustache. We were like, oh, we're going good. Oh shit. And off we go.
Right.
I was like, do whatever I can not to say mustache ride. Do whatever I can.
Hey, everybody enjoys them. You know that. Come on now.
I had to do something because that was intense, man. Like that was, that was a question I never wanted you to have to answer. Like,
Sure.
but we have to be realistic. But at the same time, you're like, it's scary.
Sure.
But what I'm happy about is that there's a lot of research being done into this. And I have a feeling, I don't know if it's going to be 100% preventable, but I have a feeling there's steps that can be taken to either slow.
I know. Yeah, I know they're talking about like the stem cell stuff and how that's supposed to be really good for, but
Listen, just talk to Ian again. Like, Ian will get you.
Right, there we go. Ian, if you're going to watch this, yeah.
But realistically, like, I don't know. I'll have to send you something after we're done here. But, I don't think we could really go any better than that. Eddie, like, this has been an absolute pleasure. What I was actually going to do, and we just went off the rails, so I guess we're going to have to do it again eventually, is I was going to pull up that interview from 2014 that we did that never saw the light of day, and just see if, I'm just going to read what you said and see if you're like, oh, God, like, it's going to be looking at, like, old MySpace posts, and you're like, oh, my gosh.
First picture from MySpace, yeah, right?
Please tell me it was your Hollister one.
Oh, I'm sure it probably was. I honestly, I couldn't even probably log on to MySpace if I wanted to anymore.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Well, Eddie, thank you so much. It really was a pleasure. And like I said, we touched on some topics I was not planning on going to. And, I got to thank Adam Martin because he was one of the last guys on the show and he did the same thing. He's like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, everybody hears me talk every week. Like, what?
Sure.
But realistically, like, that's how people tell you a story. Like, you're not,
Sure.
what Larry King used to say, he had one question. He would have one question ready and build an entire interview off of that. So.
Yep. And that's, honestly, I think that's how the best interviews, the best speeches, the best, I just, somebody who can think on the fly and wings it.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always done the same thing. It's okay. Well, again, Jason, I use him as an example. Hey, you're my best man. You need to come up with a speech. Fuck that. I'm gonna get drunk and just start talking. And that's exactly what I did. I just got drunk and started talking, and everybody else was like, dude,
where did that come from? Yeah.
That was amazing. I don't know. I had a bunch of fuzzy navels because we were real big on being like
fuzzy navels.
Oh yeah, dude. We were hammering the fuzzy navels, but I don't know. I got a bunch of fuzzy navels in me and just started rambling. Give me that microphone. I'll show you what to do. So.
Listen. So the next time you're in Florida, I'm just gonna buy you a fuzzy navel and a quarter pounder.
Well, you might have to drink it for me because I don't have alcohol anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I actually had a beer with my corner after this last fight. That's probably the first beer I've had in almost 2 years. One beer, and then I had a hard kombucha, but I never got to that. It's just the one beer, and then I ate a cheeseburger from Jack in the Box and fell asleep.
Again. We will definitely have to touch on that because that's funny. And we have hard kombucha in the fridge because
Is it any good?
I don't know. So one of the local breweries, like the bartender had some, like she's friends of ours, and I was like, this stuff's pretty good. Like, but I'm gonna have to try this other stuff and see if it's worth the craze or if it's
all right,
or if I'm just gonna stick with beer because.
I feel like. If it truly is kombucha, then I mean it can't be all bad for you. Right? Not that the beer is bad for you. But,
yeah, it is. Don't lie.
if I look at it like I'm drinking kombucha and not a beer, right.
Listen, this is a grass-fed hamburger. It had a good life.
Right, exactly. Just tell me it's grass-fed and I'll eat it.
All right, Eddie. Well, on behalf of Combat Press, Matt Quiggins, Quiggin Out MMA, let's see, El Cubano, Stephanie's Bertos Bake Shop and Fat Boy Jiu Jitsu. I really got to get good at this thing. I don't know why the hand eye.
It's funny because you move one way and it's actually moving the opposite.
And you're like, But thankful to, support the small businesses. And of course, the Mustache Mafia had to represent just because, I am appreciative of it. So thank you so much. What was that?
No, that was my elbows on my table. Don't worry. If I shit my pants, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of them. I'm not shy about that.
In order for me to end this properly, I'm just gonna say I'm never putting you in a rear naked choke. So thank you again, and I really appreciate the time.
Absolutely, anytime, Matt.
All right, sounds good.
Hey, buddy.